one thing specifically around video, the monetization opportunities is huge. Ed can probably speak more to that. But the CPM, the trend is that CPMs for video are going up, and display is sort of getting some hurdles. So I think publishers understand the value of sort of investing in the future equity of building their own video business. And we can help, and companies like Taboola can help to drive your own video business. What's funny is that, so as a company, the way we monetize as a business is that we also show other people's videos. So if you go to the Wall Street Journal, you also might see videos from MSNBC and Yahoo and other sites. And that's sort of like seeds this cycle of users watching videos across the web, which helps publishers building their own video business. What we found is that as a monetization, which is your question, showing other publishers' content can generate more revenue than a banner. So it's like a double whammy. I mean, you increase your own video revenue by showing your own content, and by showing other publishers' content, not only you become some sort of a hub for the web, people come to you and they know they get good experience to consume content from around the web. You also generate meaningful revenue as if it was display, only potentially better. So we're very excited about both those angles because we think we can, as a monetization at large, we help publishers to increase their own video business, where over time they can sell high CPM as well as pay directly from sharing revenues from other publishers purchasing traffic from them. You might can share more thoughts on that, but we're seeing both those economies going up.
Yeah, actually, Johnny, I wanted to get your perspective. I know you guys have a perspective on delivering audience and guaranteeing audience, so maybe you can pick up a little bit there.
Yeah, we have multiple ways of doing that. First is we can use display. I guess the 4 ways we can do it, or more, is we'll use social, which is our influencer group, to tell their audience, hey, go watch this video. We'll use display. We'll use gaming, because if you're playing a game and then you have to go to the next level, we'll put a video between those games, so the audience has to watch that video before they move on to the next level in social gaming. It's another way of grabbing audience. And also text advertising. So interesting about that is that takes 2 validations, which for a brand, validating that somebody first reads the contextual ad. That's one validation. Second validation is if it's interesting to them and they click it, that's the second validation, and those are real clicks. So that leads them to a video, and that video for us might lead them to a microsite we build for the brand, or we lead them back to their site, their publishing site, so people can see that video, and then hopefully stay in that publishing site and tool around for more content. We did Alphabet during the Super Bowl had exclusivity on a few of the Super Bowl commercials. One was the Ferris Bueller Honda commercial. So we took that 2-minute long form, and we had exclusive rights to distribute that content. The brand wanted us to get 3 million views on that content. We ended up getting 10 million plus views on that content. The positive of that is that that's a very shareable video. I mean, I know most of the people in this room have seen Ferris Bueller, and to resurge that popularity with Matthew Broderick as the Ferris Bueller character was easier than it being some
marshal and protect the brand, and that's great. But then when we sit and we talk about how do we extend, go back to publishing, and how do we take digital publishing and extend it worldwide? Marvel is very well known in the U.S., less so overseas, depending on the product. Spider-Man is by far the #1 superhero in any character-based superhero company. But for example, if I we're really proud of how our, key comics look on the tablet today, this stuff that comes out, but what is it going to look like if we license it in, other countries, especially if we don't speak the language? And I think that, the resources and the outsourcing, when you're trying to protect a brand that is, built itself, in terms of its quality, its messaging, and its voice, becomes a challenge. And, we're not, like I said, a 5,000 person company that can have different people doing this, so we've got to really figure out how to manage that.
Talk about the money side of the business, the branded content side of the business. I think the challenges we have that we'll continue to face are just brands and their the lack of ability to creative control. How do we collaborate together in the process and create the right content that's entertaining versus create, whether it's a TV commercial or not, too over-the-top branded content. And then we deal a lot with celebrities, obviously, and how do you avoid the backdoor endorsement from a celebrity perspective? They're there to be talent inside your video. They're not there to promote your products. And if you utilize the talent the right way, you get a huge payout. So I think those are probably the two things that we'll keep a close eye on moving forward.
John?
Well, my division, our job is to make money on our content, but I think part of that's forming strong relationships with talent, with producers who want to be in this digital space, and offering them in kind of a less of a studio model and more let's create something entertainment for an audience. And I think it's a great opportunity to have that just that openness of being able to do whatever you want, because we can deliver to any demographic we want. But it's hard because you need to work with the brands. The brands help fund and market the content we deliver, and to keep that control without ruining the content but putting the brand in it, it's difficult at times. But
Adam?
Well, I mentioned that we're focusing on mobile, but one big area that we're focusing on is one of the challenges with working with companies like ourselves is that the publishers, the content providers and the publishers, they also lose control. You think about, we power 2/3 of the page. At the end of the article, on the right rail, on the homepage, on the video page, will become through the operating system for the website. And one thing we've realized that it's those publishers and content owners and editorial team and product folks, they have a lot to say, and they know a lot of stuff about their business. So one thing we're focusing on for quite some time, and we're going to continue investing in that area, is how can you find that tipping point where publishers and content owners and the entire food chain feels comfortable to work with a machine and sort of optimize it to maximize revenue and experience for the users as well as the content owners as well as the business. So that's a prime focus for us.
I guess I don't know if anybody has any reactions to any of the points. This was the panel to me. It was interesting because as much as we had all these different viewpoints, I think there was obviously a lot of common understanding about where each of their individual sort of initiatives and goals kind of may bump up against everybody else's. And I guess the success of everybody comes in when you can bridge whatever gaps are there. But I think we at least this was a pretty clear